has to look like it is atomic, like this transfer, which is a transaction. Now, of course, you will have to have several operations in the programming language, so it will not really be instantaneous. But you can have a mental model where you have that operation happening instantaneously, and you find a place in the code where it happens. And the place where is this comment is a good place to imagine that the atomic operation happens there. And now, since so in an ideal world, the operation happens at this line and it's instantaneous, it's atomic. Now, in the real world, it won't be this way, but whenever there is a difference between the real world variables and the ideal world, you have to make it invisible for the other threads. That is, nobody is able to have a look at the variables to see the difference. So this means that between the time where the ideal operation happens and the time where the actual change in the value of the variable happens, you have to have a mutex that doesn't allow anybody else to see the difference. So, for instance, here we should have that both balances are updated at this line. Now, of course, this isn't possible and this isn't the case. So the source balance is updated here. However, there is a mutex on the source balance that is taken before that, and it is released only after this ideal place of the operation. So no one can see that there is a difference between the actual balance and what should happen with the balance, because the whole period between this moment and this one, the balance is covered by the mutex. So somebody who wants to observe that balance either comes before and it sees the initial value, or if it comes after the mutex is locked, it has to wait until after the mutex is unlocked, and there it will see the updated value. Same for the destination balance. It either sees that somewhere here before we take the mutex, and it sees the original value because this happens before this line, or it goes after, and it goes after the mutex is unlocked. Between this line where the ideal operation happens and this line where the real operation happens, nobody can see the destination balance because it is locked. And this also means that the audit function can be rephrased a little bit to be a bit simpler than that. So instead of having 3 loops, we have only 2. And we can do the computation in either of those two. So either in the locking loop after locking the mutex, or in the releasing loop just before unlocking the mutex. But we do have to have a moment where all the mutexes are taken, and here the audit takes place. So we can imagine that the audit takes place here, and in that case, we have an atomic operation and nobody can see or modify the accounts in between those two places. Okay, so that would be roughly it. So anyone else with the lab?
The final deadline is next week, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thanks.
Where should we upload our solutions?
No need for that. You show them to me and that's enough. I'll make the arrangements for having probably a table or something with the grades.